Hi, welcome to today's episode. This is going to be part 2 of us making the countertop. In our first episode, we cut, glued, screwed the countertop, 2 pieces of wood together. Now today we have a great opportunity because for glue it's supposed to be above 65 degrees for a couple of days for it to set really well. Right now we've got a window of opportunity where the next couple of days we're going to be above 65 degrees for 24 hours for the next couple of days, almost every night. It's only dropping down maybe into like the 61 degrees, but I think we could actually move this into our house inside, so that'll keep the temperature back up from it. So today we're going to do a little bit of sanding and gluing, and we're going to cut the laminate and we're going to mount the laminate onto the countertop. So I'm so glad we can get this done today. So let's get going. Okay, first thing I did, like the other day, I pulled out my little portable table thing. Today I put some pieces of wood on it to make this a little bit more solid. I had some extra wood here. And here's our countertop. I'm going to sand down a couple of these sides here, get it all cleaned up. I've got a brand new Makita sander here and some sanding disc packs. To start off with, I'm going to use a 80 grit because I want to knock this down some, and then we'll move to some smaller ones after that. We want to be able to put trim, laminate trim on the edge here. That's why we want to get this nice and smooth. Now while I have this 80 grit on there, I'm going to go ahead and do actually a little bit of all 4 sides. This will be our main side here that we're going to put the laminate on. The other 3 sides I don't think I'm going to have laminate. Maybe I'll put some on one edge here because that will show a little bit. Our stove will be on this side. But on the back side, in the corner on that side, I don't need any. So let's just do this real quick. This 80 grit knocks this down really fast. Okay, I did the 80 grit on all 4 sides. Now I'm switching over. I'm going to jump all the way to a 220. This is interesting stuff here. It's very thin. You can see through it. It's the first time I bought this kind of sandpaper. Not really sandpaper. It's some kind of sand material. Seems to work really well. It's this Diablo sand net. This was a 50 disc distorted pack that I bought on sale. I'm liking it. Wow, that is super smooth. Very nice. Very nice. Very happy with that. Now what we're going to need to do is I've got to cut a sinkhole in here. Forgot about that, mentioning that. I have to cut the area where the sink is going to go. I wanted to do that before we put the laminate on because it's a lot easier to deal with. Cutting the hole first, and so that way I don't possibly mess up the laminate. Okay, this is the sink we're going to be using. It's a nice deep sink. And since it's kind of big this way, I'm going to put it in sideways and then have the faucets up at this end. So I need to have space for this. I could pretty much put it in here any which way. I just measured, there's plenty of space. Do have a little bit of a lip there, so anywhere in this area Let me see, this is the front. So this would be in the truck actually. On the other side, this would be swung around. So I've got to see if they should have a cutting template here and get that marked out, and we'll get that cut out. Okay, so here's the cutting template they provided, and I drew the square out, but I have to expand this some because this template is cut so it just fits right in there. It's not going over the edge the way this is supposed to be normally mounted. It's supposed to be an under mount, or I think we're gonna over mount it. So I need to cut it a little bit past this size, or else this won't be big enough. So I can get into this lip area. Also, it has these little side plates. I'm not sure what that is, just giving it some strength that this needs to drop in past. So I need to go a good 1/4 inch or so past this template size. Okay, let's see what we have now. We're just a hair over 13.5. And that should do it. So I had to rearrange this because I need an area so when I'm cutting, I don't have anything underneath it. So I propped that up on this side, and I got this little mount area here. I'm just going to stick another piece of wood under that to make it up level, and that gives us pretty decent support. Get my tool here. I've got some new blades. I think I'm going to put a new blade in, and then of course I need to cut a hole with the drill to get it started. Let me go get some new blades. Okay, first I'm going to drill a little hole tap so I can get my blade in. Let's see if that blade fits in there. And yes, it does. We definitely don't have anything underneath here. What I'm doing is I'm cutting a little notch in here so I can get my blade going straight in here. Get us started on the right path here. Here we go. Okay, there's our hole cut. Now let's see how this thing fits. Is it going to fit, or is it not going to fit? Oh, that's just looks like, look at that, that's perfect. Perfect. Look at there. Got a little bit of move, a little bit of space to move, completely sealed on all sides. That's how it will go. Yep, it's going to hang down under like that. And it'll go in like this. And I'm going to have the faucets mounted up in this side, facing in. I'm going to have the drain on this side purposely because I'm going to have this draining down. And right next to here is my back box area. and that's going to be cut open and turned into like a bathroom shower area, and the drain from here is going to drain into the shower all the time. That way the shower drain only has to be hooked up to wherever I'm going out, so I don't have to do multiple connections. Also, for our shower setup that we're going to be working on, we'll be able to dump hot water down into here so it goes into the shower, that then recirculates through the shower system that I still have to work on. Woohoo! Now, if you ever order any countertop laminate, I ordered this from Home Depot. It comes in a big box like this, wrapped up, and then your laminate is this big tube right here. We've got to undo it, measure it, and then I got to cut it. We're going to overlap it a little bit, and I actually have to cut some rods that they're going to sit on during the process of putting it on here. I'll show here in a minute. Okay, let's open this up and take a look at what we have here. It's a wood grain look that we're going for. It's gonna just pop open. Wrapping off of it. And that's what our countertop is going to look like. Let me move in a little bit closer. It's a really neat wood grain texture. Okay, what I've done is I've turned the laminate upside down and I'm laying my countertop piece on top of it, and I'm going to overlay, about an inch or so. Let me move it over a little bit more on all four sides, and I've got to mark that so I can cut it. Oh, magic marker works much better. Like magic. This is probably not the best way to do this, but I don't have much space. I don't have any bigger table, so we're going to do it like this. Okay, we got that cut, and it just did, it's not the perfect cut edge over here, which it doesn't need to be, because once we get this laminated on, then we'll edge trim it with the router, and that'll trim it nice. But we got a nice little overlap on each side. And now I'm going to make some rods. We need some rods to lay across here. Actually, they will lay underneath. Once you put the glue on each side, you need some rods, boards, or dowels that you need to lay down so you can place this on there, because once you get the glue on both sides, once you touch it, it's perfect. It contacts, that's it. You have to have this lined up just right. So let's cut some of those. Let me work on that next. Now I just have some piping here, PVC piping. Got this other Makita tool I had got. We're just going to cut these pieces here. So that's 3 of these. I really need a couple more than 3. Let me dig around in here and see what else I can find. Okay, this is what we're going to be using, this DAP Weldwood contact cement. I was actually going to use something different, but none of it was in stock anywhere. So this was the only thing we could even get. So it says that I have to stir it. It's very flammable. You want to keep anything with fire away from it. High fumes. I'm going to put little masks on. Now you do want to read the directions on this. This has got a million warnings on it. Danger, flammable liquid and vapor, harmful or fatal if swallowed. The vapor is harmful, contains petroleums. So you definitely want to be careful with this. I'm going to put my mask on. Oh, I guess I got to take my hat off. I'm going to do one. I'm going to do the board. I guess my wife's going to do the panel. Open this up here. And they say stir it thoroughly. Tell you, with this mask on, so far I don't smell anything.
Okay.
Well, yeah, now I do. It's 3 o'clock exactly.
I don't know how thick.
Pretty good coat, I think. Okay, I think we've waited good enough time. They say it should be kind of tacky to the touch, and that's what that is. We do have some gobs of it in places. This is what the roller looks like that we're going to be using. Oops, this extends in and out. Once we get this pushed on here, I got to make sure I don't push too hard in here because I could crack it. So we're going to try to put this on here now. I'm going to flip this the other way around though.
Oh, just that. It ran.
So you got to come over this way. Oh, hey, we got to put it back over there. We have to take all these and put them, these are going to have to go on here. Almost forgot to put our spacers. And you want to get that edge as close as you can to there. You need to come down that way a little bit. Are you overhanging the side enough all the way across both sides? Okay. So we're going to pull out this center one right here. And tack it down. And then we're going to pull this one out. You need to lift up a little bit. It's sticking. And run that down. Now we're going to pull this one out. Go ahead. And pull that one out.
You sure?
Yeah, just let me just push it down slowly. This is our hole here. Okay. Got a little bit of glue up top here. Hopefully we can get that off. I think that was stuck on my glove I was just rubbing. Okay, we got the laminate glued down. It's looking really good. What I'm hoping is we have a good amount of excess on this one side. I'm hoping that when I trim this will make a nice straight line because we're running it against the side of the wood, that there will be enough left there so I could do this little front piece on the front of the countertop over here. I got to trim this one. I got to trim all four sides. But I'm going to let it dry for a little while before I do any of the trimming. Let it set. And then we're going to come back and do the trimming with the router. Okay, now I'm going to trim it. I'm going to trim this back edge first, just in case I make a mistake or something. I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've got to get this to ride along the side of it here. Since this little strip that we cut off wasn't quite big enough to cover this front piece, I went ahead and cut another piece. Actually, two pieces. I cut two pieces. This is going to go on the front here, and then I'm going to cut this a little smaller and cover this one end down here. Then we're not going to do the back and that other side. I'm going to get some water sealant, some kind of water sealant epoxy or something to put on those sides, so if any water goes off the edges, it doesn't warp the wood or anything. Okay, we're slowly running out of time. It's getting later in the day. We're having these little bugs that come out this time of the day that are starting to eat us up. What I did is I cut these other pieces. We have them glued. We have glue on the edge here and glue on the edge here. We're just waiting the 15 minutes times or so for it to get tacky, for it's ready to stick. Then we're going to stick them on, and then I'll have to edge trim those. This is nice and tacky now. I'm going to try to put this on here. We have a lot of bugs out here, and wow, I need to get this on straight, fairly straight. Okay, that looks like that's going to be good. Yep, a little bit of a ridge on each side. Okay, I've got both these pieces on here. Waiting for them to stick good, then I'll trim them. Okay, we're all done. We got the countertop finished. We glued it. We put the countertop material on it. We cut the hole for our sink. Glued everything. Routed the edges. We have a finished countertop here, ready to go. Ready to go in the truck. Have our sink area ready to go. And I hope you guys learned something, and I hope I could help you out and show you how it's done. And next, we're going to be mounting this in the truck, but first we have to finish the 80-20 framing that we're doing for the counter area, and then this will go mounted on top of the counter. Then we'll put the sink in. We got to do plumbing. We got so much to do, electrical, and so on and so on and so on. Lots of solar to put on the roof, a whole solar system to put in the truck. We're going to redo the front brakes, rotors, pads, everything that as well. So please like, subscribe, and watch us. We got a lot more coming, and I'll see you next time. All right, thank you.